Hey guys, what's happening? So we really got the second Captain Marvel trailer. And now this makes me really believe we're gonna get the Avengers 4 trailer on Wednesday. And then after that, we're getting Spider-Man Far From Home. That trailer's also dropping this week. Man, what a time to be alive. Like this whole week. But this video is gonna be real quick because there's really only one other thing that we saw in this trailer that we learned about the film that we didn't talk about in the last trailer talk video or when we talked about the Prelude comic. Or really two, but one of those we kind of knew from the posters. But just getting right into it, there's a couple other things I just want to mention as well. Like the old lady scroll on the subway train. Like when I see that smile, I'm just thinking like, that ain't a real smile. You ain't living your best life. And Carol Danvers picked that up from jump. But I'm so glad that we got to see her still as the old lady fighting Carol Danvers. And I'm saying her is probably a him. We don't know. But two things. One, I hope we get plenty of it for this sequence because I just think it would be pretty crazy just seeing her go in on this old lady. But aside from that, the look on the faces of the people seeing this happen. Because this is the last thing you expect to see getting on the train. And he ain't even tried to help. He just watching like, what? But I will also say you can tell there's a bit of fear from the people who are watching Carol Danvers get on the train. And if I had to take a wild guess, it's because it kind of looks like she blew a hole through the roof to get inside the train. So with that said, it's probably at that moment that they knew that, okay, that ain't friendly, that's alien. But in addition to that, the whole positive thoughts, positive vibes poster almost feels like a little bit of irony there. But a couple of the things that stood out for me in this trailer in particular is like, one, we got a couple of shots where we actually got to see some of her blood. And it was a few shots actually. We saw a few with her bleeding either from her mouth or blood on her hand or her nose, or even from the process of them giving her a blood transfusion, which is very likely what they had to do to save her life, and is a good chance that it's mar-vell's blood. And I really believe what they'll do is kind of play out the whole reason why they chose to save her after they seen like her exceptional skills as a pilot, and kind of just do it that way, which also gives me the thought and idea of them going back just to the whole story and concept of mar-vell already being on Earth. But even still with them changing her origin like this, it is a bit more closer to the classic origin than it is to the Marvel Legacy. And we don't know for certain that it is his blood, but I just think it's very likely that they'll do that, like just to make it a little bit closer to her original origin. But I can't help but think like the way that they show it in the trailer is almost like, oh, this is just what they do all the time, like this is regular. But I think once we get a chance to see how it plays out in the film, we'll then get a much better idea of how much they're using from classic Marvel, from Legacy, and it really just depends on whether they start her off fully human or not, which I'm pretty sure they will. And also with both trailers showing us a bit of Maria Rambeau, and the last one gave us like a quick little clip of Monica, her daughter, who will later go on to grow up and be Spectrum, which I believe is setting us up perfectly for the Ultimates to take the place of the Avengers in the MCU, which is a team that could mix and do a little bit more in space, along with your Fantastic Four and your Guardians of the Galaxy, and not just space, but also like your Negative Zone, but ending the Avengers as far as the title of that team, ending that with everything that we've had so far, and bringing the Ultimates would just make that closing chapter and entering phase 4 just that much more epic. And with the Fantastic Four coming into the picture, who also deal with your Negative Zone, who also deal with the microverse or the quantum realm, this just leaves Earth wide open for the X-Men. And once mutants come out and start doing damage, it's like the climate has already been primed for mutant prejudice just because the world has already seen how dangerous heroes can be. So you just take that with the addition of the failure of the Sokovia Accords, take that, just add in the mutants, and there's so many stories you can build from there. And if you guys remember, the most recent MCU comic we talked about was the Captain Marvel Prelude. And with that, everything we learned about Fury and the different secrets that he's kept, like at this point, I would not be surprised that if somewhere along the lines he discovered like Weapon X, like it would make sense for him to already know about Department H, Department K, but that's Fury later on. A much different Fury than what we saw in this trailer. Out here playing with kittens named Chewie because he's nice like that. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Just want to share my thoughts real quick. Like I said, most of the stuff I feel like we found out in the first trailer. There's a little bit more in this one, but aside from what we know, I kind of just want to wait and see the film. But for the rest of this week, I definitely am keeping my eyes peeled for the Avengers 4 trailer, the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. But I'm not gonna front, like even though they're confirmed, I still don't all the way believe it, but I'll believe that Avengers trailer when I see it. But that's it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and we'll do it again in the next one. All right, later.